through how to update your rooted Pixel 3a or Pixel 3a XL to the latest and greatest Android 10. Now to do this, of course, you need an unlocked bootloader, and you probably already have this because your phone is rooted, and we're just rooted using Magisk Manager. You might have TWRP installed, the custom recovery, but in this case, since I don't think it's probably going to work with Android 10 just yet, we're going to skip that installation. So you can just follow along even though you have TWRP installed. So without further ado, all we need to do is download a few things. Now, first up, of course, is the Android or the SDK Platform Tools. And this is just fastboot and ADB, these files that we use, these programs, to communicate with our phone through the USB cable, always important. So we just need to download the one for our operating system. I'm going to choose Windows. You can read and agree to the terms and conditions and click on the blue download link. I'm going to save everything into one folder I have here with everything prepared. And the next thing you want to download is the latest factory image for Android 10. So on the right hand side, if we go over to Sargo or Bonito, you can download the latest one for the Pixel 3a. I have the regular sized one, so I'm going to click on this one. This one ends in 020 rather than the one that was 019. So you can click on this download link and that'll download the factory image as well. And last but not least, you want to download the latest version of the Magisk Manager from the Canary builds. Now I'm going to do this on my phone because I don't feel like fluffing around with installing APKs and all that, and we're not going to be flashing the zip. So just open the link on your phone and you can update or actually just download the Canary Magisk Manager right onto your phone. So I'm going to click the first link here. Download link. Okay, so I'm going to download it and we are done now. We're going to tap on that to install, allow Chrome to install an app, and then click on install. This should overwrite the existing Magisk Manager that you have installed. Hit open. And if you have hidden Magisk Manager, I'll just show you quickly in the settings. If you've chosen to hide Magisk, sorry, it's up here, isn't it? Hide Magisk Manager, you may see two different Magisk Manager apps. One will be called Manager, and one will be called Magisk Manager. So you can uninstall the one that says Manager and just be left with this one. But it should sort itself out regardless. But you want to go into the settings here just to make sure that the update channel here is changed from stable to Canary, just like that. And then we can go back to the main menu and refresh. And it should say we have things available to update, which is fine. And that's exactly what we need right now. So once you have Magisk Manager updated to the Canary builds, and you can see that we are taking the new builds here under the Magisk update, we can actually go back to our computer here, and that's when we'll start extracting things and updating our phone to Android 10. So let's go ahead and open up the platform tools here. And if you've already extracted these before, you're already using the platform tools, like the last time you rooted your phone or did anything using fastboot or ADB, all you need to do is make sure that it's up to date. And the latest version currently is 29.0.2. And I'll show you how you can kind of get that information from fastboot or ADB itself, which is important. And here we also want to open up the factory image after extracting the platform tools folder. Let's open that up and let's open the folder inside, and let's extract the bootloader, image, and radio images like that. Let's extract them outside. This might take a while. It is a gigabyte and a little bit. Okay, so once everything's extracted, we can close that. And the last thing we want to extract is actually the boot image, which we're going to use Magisk Manager to patch. And we need to get that from the image zip file that we just extracted. So let's open that up and let's drag outside the boot.img file, just like so. And there we go. So I guess the next thing is we're going to open up the platform tools. We will be using ADB for this tutorial as well. So if you haven't done that, you'll need to enable USB debugging in the developer options. I'll quickly show you that in just a second. And we have to open up the platform tools folder here. And to get a terminal or a command prompt window or even PowerShell window into this folder, I'm going to be using the command prompt just because it's a little bit easier to work with. You can head over to the address bar here, make sure you're in the platform tools folder, click on it, and then type in CMD, and then hit enter. This will open up a command prompt window with the directory already changed to the platform tools folder, and from here you can run your executables like fastboot or ADB. Something like that. Alrighty, so before we begin, I'm just going to go back to our phone here, and we'll just enable USB debugging and double check that it is enabled. So come with me over to the settings, and we'll go down to System, Advanced, and we need the developer option. So we need to go to About Phone and tap on the build number until we can activate the developer options here. Enter in your PIN, pattern, or passcode. Go back out one more. Go back to System, Advanced, and you'll see the developer options here. Tap on that and scroll down a little bit. Now is a good time to uncheck automatic system updates as well. And we can also go down here to enable USB debugging. And then what we need to do is plug in our USB cable into our phone. And that's good. So I'm going to leave this on the side here because we will need to accept a prompt. Now in our command prompt window that we just opened up, we need to type in ADB devices. And this will start up the ADB daemon and also produce the devices that are connected to our device. And if your phone hasn't connected to your computer before, you will get a message asking you if you want to allow the USB debugging and also the device's fingerprint on here. Or check on always allow from this computer so you don't have to keep doing this pop-up or confirming it. And then tap on OK. And you can see here it said unauthorized, but as soon as you run it again, you'll see that it is now a device, which is great. So I think the next command we can do now is push the boot image that was in our Android folder. So if we go up one folder, back into where everything else is, we see our boot image here. What we can do here is pretty much copy the boot image or push it to our device. So I'm going to push it to the SD card, and that command goes like ADB push, leave a space after the word push, and we're going to give it the source file, which is the boot image. You can drag it on top just like that, but I have heard that on some, I guess, instances of the command prompt or PowerShell window, you can't drag and drop things in there. I've heard that usually comes into play because you ran the command prompt as an administrator, or it does it automatically. If that happens, you might have to type up the path of the file like directly. So I recommend putting the boot image, or where you have all your Android stuff, either on your C drive somewhere, or make sure you can get the drag and drop working. But anyways, the next thing we want to type after dragging something in is leave a space and then type in /sdcard/ and then hit enter, and that'll push the boot image to our SD card. And that is done in just 2 seconds. And that's when we can head back over to our phone here and begin the Magisk patching, or allow Magisk to patch the boot image. So I think we need to update here, but that's all right. We should be allowed to install it to an image and all that. So let's tap on update and then tap on install. And under method, make sure you select and patch a file like so. And you'll see in our recents, and you might be wondering, how do I access my SD card? All you have to do is go up to the 3 dots up here and tap on show internal storage. And if you slide back, open the drawer, you should be able to see your internal storage here. And from here, we should be able to see the boot image that we just copied over. And tap on that. And now Magisk will start downloading, and then it will install itself into the boot image once it downloads. So this is doing its thing right now. It's going to back up the boot image and then also install Magisk onto it. Okay, we're done here. And you can see the output file is placed in this path here. So I'm going to leave that open, and I'm going to head back to my computer, and we're going to type in a command using ADB to pull our file into this Android folder here. So let's do that here. So we can type in ADB pull, and then we need to find the location of the source file, which is in our SD card, and then the download folder with a capital D, and then the image name is now Magisk _ patched.img. We need to give it a destination on the computer. And because the folder is currently in Platform Tools, if we type in 2 dots, like so, this will refer to the parent directory, which is the Android folder. So when I press enter, you'll see the patched boot image appear into the folder on the right. And there we go. So that's how that works, which is cool. Now that our file is back onto our desktop, we can now go back into our phone, because there's one more thing that I need to talk about before we go about updating. So let's go back and go to our modules tab. If you have something like the active edge mod that kind of replaces a system file with a modified one or a different one, do keep in mind when you do update your phone, even with the security patches, there is a chance that the new file, the new system file in the new update is a lot different than it was beforehand, and I presume the ActiveEdge mod is also like that. So what I recommend here, if you are quite fresh to the update and it's just been released, is you should uncheck, or even better, mark the module for removal for the next reboot. And to be extra safe, just reboot your phone now, just so the module is removed and or disabled, because we don't want that loading up again for whatever reason after we install Android 10, because that will make your phone probably go into a boot loop, or if not, your system will crash a whole lot. So we're going to wait for our phone to turn back on again, and then we'll be able to reboot it once more into the bootloader, and then we can start the update process. Okay, so our phone is turned back on. Oops. And let's just verify that the module has been removed or uninstalled. And it has been, which is great. So now we can reboot our phone back into the bootloader in order to flash the new factory images for Android 10. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's press and hold the power button and press restart. And as soon as you press restart and then the screen turns black or it freezes, I want you to hold the volume down button. And that'll boot our phone into the bootloader. And just keep holding it until your phone does boot in. Sometimes it can take a little while. So just keep holding it until you get into this screen here, which is great. And what we can do now is go back to our computer and then type in a few things. So first off, let's double check that our phone is detected in fastboot mode. Windows Update should be able to automatically get the drivers for you. If not, I'll have a video link to that down below. So let's type in fastboot devices. And you can see nothing has come up, which means our phone might just need to be replugged in. So don't worry about that. Let's just try replug in our device. Let's run the command again. Still nothing. So let's open up Device Manager, do some live troubleshooting here. And you can see that Windows hasn't automatically installed a driver for us. Let's see if we can do that automatically. So if you select a device here, you can right click and press Update Driver and then search automatically. And of course it didn't. So let's have a look at the Windows. Okay, no, we don't want that. So for some reason it hasn't installed the lead mobile device driver. So let's do some quick thinking here. Let's type in the USB device drivers, Android. And there we go. Oh no, the Google USB driver, that's the one. I'll leave a link to this down below in case you need it. And we just need to click on this link here and agree to the terms and conditions and download the latest driver. I'm going to save this where everything else is. Just start the download there. Let's open up the folder. Let's open up the USB driver zip file, extract the USB driver folder. You can close that. Let's open this, and you can see the Android _win USB.inf. Let's right click on that and click on install. And install. Okay, that's good. You can see that refresh, and our Pixel 3a is gone from the device manager and is now the Android bootloader interface. Okay, cool. That's great. That was interesting, but that's always good to know how to install the drivers anyways. And now we should be able to go back and use fastboot devices and our phone will show up. So that's how you install drivers. I'll leave that in there. And now that our device is detected in fastboot, we can now go ahead and flash the images that we extracted earlier from the factory image. And one more thing before we begin, let's just double check our fastboot executable version for those who are using their existing ones. You can do that by typing in fastboot --version, and that'll return the current version number and also where your fastboot executable is located, which is very important if you just decide to run the fastboot executable without having to change directories. But that is also something to keep in mind. You might have an existing installation somewhere and it's in your path environment variable. I will have more information on that down below as well. But anyways, we don't need to worry about that because we're on the latest version here. So let's update the bootloader first, the image that we extracted earlier. So we can type in fastboot /bootloader, leave space after the word bootloader and drag in the bootloader image and hit enter. Okay, that's great, that's done. Let's reboot our phone back into the bootloader for the new bootloader to take effect. So we can type in fastboot reboot bootloader and hit enter. Then our phone should reboot itself back into the bootloader. And there we are. And let's flash the updated radio image. So we can type in fastboot radio and drag in that radio image that we extracted earlier and hit enter. Excellent. And one more thing we'll do is reboot our phone back into the bootloader again, and you can do that by pressing the up arrow key on your keyboard twice to go up 2 commands and hit enter, or you can type in fastboot reboot bootloader again, and you can also restart your phone back into the bootloader by using the volume buttons and selecting restart bootloader and then pressing the power button. It's an alternative way of doing that. And now we're going to go for the big stuff now. We're going to run the update command and supply this image zip file that we extracted earlier. So we can type in fastboot -- and we're going to type the word skip and then dash and then the word reboot. Type in the word update, and after the word update, drag in the image zip file and hit enter. Now your phone will check that the bootloader version matches, the radio or baseband version matches. Then it will start extracting all the little files onto your computer somewhere, so make sure you have enough hard disk space. And right now you can see our phone is rebooting into this special fastboot mode, which is quite interesting. So we'll wait for that to do its thing. And that's good. Hopefully it detects our device, and yes it does. And let's just see how this goes now. Okay, so everything's finished flashing now. And what we can do is actually flash our patched boot image here, the one with Magisk_patched, and that'll reroute our phone using Magisk. So let's do that while our phone is in the fastboot D interface. But technically you can reboot the phone back into the normal bootloader and do this. But I think we can just do it here. So let's try that. And we can type in fastboot flash boot, leave the space after boot, and drag in our Magisk_patched image and hit enter. And that should be able to flash just fine. And then to reboot our phone back into into Android now, since we've finished all our stuff in the bootloader, we can go to our phone here, and I'm just going to press the power button when it has highlighted reboot system now. So I'm going to press that, and our phone should turn on just fine. Now it may take a while since this is a major update. I heard that it could take up to 5 minutes. Usually it doesn't take that long, and hopefully Magisk doesn't cause any issues. So if you do run into a boot loop where you're stuck on the Google logo and it's just here with the little thing underneath, and that's a nice little change powered by Android. And so if it's just stuck here doing its loop, I recommend that you flash the boot image that you extracted here, just this one. You don't have to go through the whole update thing instead or again, because the only thing that you changed after that was you flashed the patched image. Now if that still doesn't work, then you can try flash the whole image zip file again using the commands above. But right now, let's just cross our fingers and hope for the best that our phone turns on. And then we will be able to see Android 10 in all its goodness and also maintain root access. Okay, so you can see our phone has turned on. No issues here, which is great. Let's just unlock our device. There we are. So we're in, and it's just going to finish the system update, which is fine. We've got our new notification things. Let's see. We've got dark theme that we can enable. That's going to be great. Let's enable dark theme. Wow, very nice. Let's open up Magisk Manager and see that our phone is still rooted, which is good. And if you want Active Edge or the squeeze mod, pretty much, you can actually head over to the Telegram, and also I believe I saw on Twitter that the module is updated for Android 10 support. So you can go ahead and download those modules again. But just be careful, make sure that they're updated and ready for Android 10. Otherwise, you will have a bad time. And I believe this should be updated accordingly. Android 10 support for version 50. So we know we're good to install that. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you like this video, please feel free to leave a like down below. If you have any other questions or comments, also leave those below in the comment section. But even better yet, go ahead and join us on Discord, where we chat about all things technology, and especially if you need some help, because it's just so much easier showing pictures or even talking to you in person rather than trying to reach you through the comment section. So thanks for watching, guys. I've said that 3 times now, and as always, happy flashing.